Welcome to Agency for Agents, a podcast for real estate team leaders and independent brokerage owners looking to maximize profits, effectiveness, and gain freedom for their team and business. Your hosts, Christine Andreasen and Aaron Hendon, have been running one of the most successful real estate teams in the Seattle area for more than 8 years. They know building a winning team means finding ways to empower, nurture, train, and develop individual agents to discover their own power, their own agency. On the podcast, Christine and Aaron interview thought leaders in real estate and personal growth to help you impact both your performance and your teams. We know it takes a lot, and leaders and brokers that crack that code reap the rewards of success greater than any they could ever achieve on their own. All right. Well, Jami, it's good to see you again.
You too. It's been a while.
It really has. It's really exciting. So, there's a million podcasts about how to sell 3 more houses. We wanted to really create something that empowered team leaders and boutique broker owners to be able to empower their team. So how teams run, things like that. And the Decide to Fly Foundation or that project, you got to tell me what it is, Foundation Project Group.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, actually, that project is no longer in existence anymore. It is because it's inside of me and my life lives on in the people that I worked with. But
we just knew by the look of your Instagram, your LinkedIn, and from what Aaron said, that you were real estate broker out to empower people. We're like, she's our people.
Yeah.
So that's how we came to you.
Yeah. I worked with Jeff Wilmore for a year on his autonomy course.
Right. We're in that now. We're in the advanced
year 2 right now.
Year 2 now.
So excited for you. It's really like chewing on leather, but it's so good. It's kind of like Aaron's old program. I don't know if you're still doing that, Aaron.
I still lead the Introduction Leaders Program, and Christine was just
your old program, Aaron.
We're allowed to call things what they are.
Okay, it was my old program. But anyway, I tell you, Aaron just impacted my life in such a profound way forever. Like I still hear his voice in my head, and every time I see something about the Seattle Seahawks, I think of him doing an introduction weekend, and he's like, "Oh, I want to be lucky." And I actually one time sent you the score of the Seattle Seahawks, and I immediately deleted it because I thought from Facebook, because I'm like, he may not have even seen this yet, so he will kill me.
There is never a moment where I don't know the score of the game. There is never a moment in my life where I do not know the score of a Seahawks game.
I don't want to know the outcome.
I look, growing up,
he doesn't record these and watch later.
I don't. I used to. I remember with the Knicks in New York during the '85 run, but this is before social media, where I couldn't avoid it now. But in '85, I would. Or 95, I'd record it and then go home. And I remember watching the Knicks Pacers on videotape.
Yeah.
That's how old I am.
Wow. Yeah. How did you two guys connect?
I was a seminar leader for 26 years at Landmark.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay.
Aaron and I met 20 years ago at Landmark, and then 9 years ago now?
2013.
9 years ago, Aaron came to me and he said, "I'm getting into real estate now and I'm going to be on your team." And I said, "I don't have a team." And Aaron said,
"You do now."
And that's how we started.
Oh, that was so great. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
11 agents, 5 admin. I'm looking at my board. 11 agents, 5 admin, and we've been through all of it together.
Yeah. Oh, great. I'm excited to have my team go through the Landmark Forum and Advanced course. I've already promised them as soon as we go live again, they're going, and they're very excited about it. So
now tell us, how many people on your team? Are you talking agents here?
Well, I have one agent. So I pretty much worked as a single agent until the end of last year. And in August, I hired my first, always had a TC, like from the very first deal, because I hate paperwork. So it's like, honestly, I didn't even know how to get paid until about 3 weeks ago. So I don't know.
Christine's recreated in that. That's
yeah, not my thing. So anyway, I'm like, I need to leverage myself here, and hired an agent, brand new, out of school, but her background, she grew up in the business and her mom was a broker in Miami. And so she's been amazing. And then I had the person who started with me when I very first got started. So I kind of did it a little backwards. I'm about, in entrepreneurship, I think that systems give you strength, right? Like structure gives you freedom. So coming into this, not knowing anything about this side of the transaction, I'm like, okay, I don't know what all these, what all this means. I was new to North Carolina, so all the laws are different. And I started putting my systems together. So I'm glad I did it that way. It was slower start to the business, but now it's like we are on the threshold of some explosive growth. We have found the right people on our team. Right talent is huge.
Yeah.
And I've probably been through 8 TCs already. They say I'm the most particular person on the planet because I am. And I'm okay with that. It's like, if I don't know how to get paid, you better know how I get paid. So
you should have your agent come do a course with us that we're leading on February 28th called Level Up.
Really?
Yeah. Level Up. We'll send you a link, but it's not how to sell 10 more houses. It's and you will sell 10 more houses. It's how to have your foundation expand to hold the empire you want to build with integrity.
Jamie, if you were going to use a comparison that you would understand, right? I feel like now I've talked down to you.
You would understand.
I understand. I really I heard that coming out of my mouth that way. That's not what I meant. If you combine BOLD with the Introduction Leaders Program, it's like that. That's the intention, is to leave. It stands on a world of, if you do the work, you'll get the results. And the results you have in your life are really a reflection of the work you've done. So if you're going to get to a new level, you're going to need to do new work. You're going to need to be someone who levels up. And so we address that over the course of 90 days.
And we start totally. And we start with, without integrity, nothing works.
Nothing works.
To be able to expand your empire when you're on a shaky, crazy foundation.
Yeah, so, Jamie, I'll send you a link, and you can read about the details, the dates, because if you don't make the dates, you're out.
I might be out because I'm going to be gone from the 28th through the 4th.
Well, clearly you are not in Seattle, so you don't have to come live. You could do it on Zoom, but maybe check it out and send your agent this one, and you come with us next round.
I would love that. She might love it too. I'll tell you what, she's amazing.
So check it out.
One of our coupons, one of our
I'll give you a promo code. It's usually $1,000, but we'll comp. And we're comping everyone who comes on the podcast. And their team. But really, honestly,
to make her feel special.
No, but I just want you to know, as a gift, it's a gift for people that show up on our show. Oh my God.
I got it.
We were just joking. This is, Jamie, this is really funny because, and I want to hear about your coaching program about quantum, what was it? Quantum coaching, and about, what Decide to Fly and how that world came about and what you were doing with that. Because one of the things Chris and I were just joking about, there's an agent on our team where if there is a disempowering context, if there's a disempowering way to be found, she's going to go find it and stand there constantly. Right. So what I just said is okay, if there's a disempowering way to hear what I just said, Christine will take it and make fun of me for it, which is reliable. So Jamie, tell us about, the project, and tell us about quantum coaching and what you do to empower the people on your team.
Okay. So, I started Decide to Fly in 2012. I was in the mortgage industry in Tucson, and I hated mortgages. I really disliked mortgages. They were stressful. I found everyone was lying everywhere.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? It's these 500 no doc, 500 FICO no doc loans were in existence everywhere. It was just this is a big nightmare. And so it was the more you know, the more you don't want to know. You just put your head down and I'm just going to go to work. And I just had to get out. And so I got cancer in my eye, actually. And I felt like it was God's way of saying, you need to take another look at your life. And so,
wow,
actually, that's when I decided, I can't remember how I started it. I think I decided I was going to really do something to empower women. I put a date on the calendar, and it was Father's Day is that in April, I think?
Father's Day's in June.
June. Okay. So it was June. Maybe I decided in April. By the time June came along, this event happened. We had 202 women at the Ritz-Carlton. I can't believe we filled 200.
You started this yourself, and the next thing you know, you had 200 people?
Yes. It was I got on the phone, blah, 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 and I'm calling all my, leader friends. I'm bring by tables, come and do this. So anyway, I'm sitting there about 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the event. And I'm what am I going I need to sell something at this event, or it's going to be a giant, expensive debutante ball. Like here I am, but I don't know what I'm doing. So, I found somebody who was an online marketer and like, how do you get the word out and all of that? She was amazing in San Diego. And I realized it's like, you know what, there's something really deeper to this for me. And so I put together a program, and it came from a grief loss recovery course I had done. I had a certification in that. And then I went to Landmark. Actually, I went to
What year are we talking here? How long ago was this?
2012.
So when you say, when you were talking about all the mortgages and the, put a nose under their, put a mirror under their nose if it fogs up, give them a loan. Was that before the 2008 crash or after?
It was before.
Wow.
I got out of the business before. I got all of my employees jobs. And I just said, I have to figure out something. So actually, I think I got into a multi-level skincare company, and I became a top 1% producer in that company. And that just wasn't what my future was going to be. I just knew it. And I don't know, I just wanted to help women. And so I created a course, and it was just like a culmination of lots of different things that I had, grown through over the years. And we launched it. Honestly, it was a financial failure. I'm just going to say what it is. It was a financial failure. I did not know what I was doing. What I was doing was spending a lot of I had this vision for the technology that would support it that wasn't in existence at that time. And, it was running side by side with tech companies who were creating it. So by the time I was ready to launch, I had spent probably like $400,000 or something insanely stupid on all of these, because you're in it, you're deep, and you're like, okay, what do I do? Put another $50,000 in because I can't, I'm halfway in, Yeah,
I'm not going to lose what I got in. I got to keep going.
And I learned a big lesson. Stay in your lane. Do what you know, or you want to know, or you're passionate about. Don't do what you're not passionate about. I was not passionate about technology. Right. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I ended up connecting with C-suite, women executives across the country. And I've been coaching women like that ever since. And right now it's by referral. The Quantum Shift coach is actually through a friend of mine who her business is to support naturopathic doctors. Wow. And so she called me up a couple of years ago and said, hey, will you coach some of my clients? And I agreed to do that. So that's actually what that is. So I've got naturopathic doctors that I'm helping build their businesses across the nation. And, really, it boils down to the same conversation. Totally. The I'm not good enough conversation, right? Like we got to complete the past and, just.
So you did transformational coaching. It doesn't matter which industry.
Not at all.
You have to have gotten to natural.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing that we got in Level Up is it just doesn't, we're going to gear it towards realtors, and we're really sort of narrowing down the niche. It's it's for the realtors that do between 5 and 30 deals, like in that sweet spot, or even 5 and 25 deals. So they're just at the precipice of a real breakthrough in their performance, or but they know how to write a contract.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then really all those conversations about imposter syndrome and am I good enough? And how to be in an empowering conversation, and how to create a future that inspires you and keep it alive, and all that work.
I remember a conversation you had one time. It's still, it was about the invisible, like you're dealing with the invisible as if it's real, right? It's really not real. It's made up. It's not real. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that was life-changing for me. It was amazing. It was amazing. I have this little thing on my board here. It says, numbers are no judgment of who I am, just a gauge of how I'm performing.
Isn't that great?
Brilliant. Right? Yeah, brilliant.
That's just, for people, that's life-changing to get that. And that's the only thing we got to keep talking to people about. Okay, that's your performance. And then what are the actions you're going to take? And then who is going to be the person that's going to take those actions? Yeah. Who would you need to be to take those actions effectively?
So much. Because it's like we walk around with, I'm wrong, or I should have, I could have, I would have, what if it does? What if it doesn't? All of those things. It's like, that's just mind numbing. It's like, gosh, when you step across that threshold, you break through that. It is like life explodes, right? It's like you really start to get a feeling for what it's like to live life. And we're not even there yet.
You live life being cause in the matter of life, right?
Yeah.
Not being a victim of whatever. And, you know, it's like you said, it's just, it doesn't matter what the industry is. We're using real estate, but everybody in this course makes a promise for what they're going to accomplish that week. And it doesn't matter if they say whatever they say, it just doesn't matter. They have to deal with everything that comes up. It's just got to be a push. As long as it's a push for them, they can. Is
this just real estate agents, or can any member of the team?
We have real estate. It's got to be somebody who's entrepreneurial and in production. So we have lenders in there for sure. Okay. Lenders. We actually have one of our favorite lenders leading it with us. But I mean, it could be title reps now that I think about it, Aaron. Not escrow, but like the sales. Ashley, Gina.
Right. Transaction coordinators wouldn't make a difference with.
Right. It's got to be somebody who's out there generating business.
Like my ISA.
Your ISA would be great. Oh, ISA for sure. Yeah. Because it's all about what's between you and having the business you want.
Oh my gosh.
It's got to be somebody who gets to say what they're up to that week. If they're just punching in and they have this ritual, then it probably won't be worth the money, so to speak.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
How exciting for those people to be.
It's really an exciting. We love doing it. I mean, I just love writing it and tweaking and like that. Jami, tell me about, you know, your expansion plans and how you anything you can tell us about how you compensate the people on your team. Just because I know one of the things that's sort of a taboo is we don't talk about compensation, but it makes such a difference for other team leaders to hear, okay, that's what they're paying. Oh, because every time we do this, we're like either, oh my God, we're right on track. This is like, or we learn something new, right? Or we're like, wow, maybe we're paying them too much. I mean, like, it's just useful to compare notes. So you just brought on a new agent. You have an ISA. What do you pay them? How do you pay them? Where did you find them? Everything we can know about how you got your team set up.
Okay. So I started with the transaction coordinator, and that was an outsource. So that is, you know, anywhere between $350 and $400 a transaction. And that worked for me because it was my pace, one at a time, blah, blah, blah. Sure. So, but I really wanted to bring that on in-house and then have them help me with some admin stuff and listing, you know, all that kind of junk. I need to have somebody side by side with me. So I have Aubrey now, who has taken on that role. She just started about a month ago and she is doing great. So she takes, you know, everything from beginning all the way to compliance and is learning. We have, I created, like I said, my systems. They're all on Asana, and we use Asana as, you know, our boards. They're just dialed in, very detailed. We use our own, you know, command, and then I have Follow Up Boss as our CRM. I really only use Keller Williams Command for compliance. It's too big of a monster to try to tackle. So it's anyway. So the transaction coordinator was the first person I hired. Like I said, I just needed somebody who was maybe a little bit smarter than me in the contracts on that side. So that worked pretty well.
Somebody to keep us out of jail.
Yeah, exactly. So Sarah is now my ISA, and she lives in Austin. She's remote. She's also ops. Her gifting is ops. So I have this thing that I do. It's like a love-hate list. So tell me everything that you love and everything you hate to do. Because we really want to do what we love when we're working, right? I mean, we spend most of our day doing that. So let's put you in the lane that you love. And if there's somebody else on the team who loves what you hate, then you can just cross. I don't care what your role is, right? Just let them do it. As long as we get to the result at the end, that's super great for me. So Sarah is just a natural. She ran 17 restaurants in Austin.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, she just is just amazing. And she actually was the very first person I hired that helped me get these systems together. And she was in between jobs. And I said, Sarah, please come move in with me, because I was working out of my home. So she literally did the guest bedroom. And she worked with me for like 8 months to get we took all of the best from the mega teams in our company. And then we just picked through everything and we made it ours. We, R&D, rip off and duplicate. So just made them great. And she was so proud of us 2 years later after, because that was a temporary thing. 2 years later, she's like, you're still using some of this stuff and it doesn't even look the same. It just looks, elevated. So we took all of that and grew with it. She came back on. so she is just getting trained for ISA. So like I said, all of these people are kind of new again. It was another situation where she was top producer. She actually went into the car business. And I'm like, if you can be number one car salesperson after 4 months, you can do ISA.
Totally.
So she got COVID and was hospitalized and had to go back home because she couldn't even stand up and take a shower, And so her mom was taking care of her. She said, hey, Jami, I need a job. You remember the whole ops thing? Can you know somebody? I'm like, what? You're coming here and I'll grow fast enough to cover your salary, because I'm not letting you.
It's a salaried ISA.
Well, she is now, and then we'll transition into per qualified lead per closing. But I need to give her some ramp up time, and I am paying her a set salary weekly for the ops stuff. She's very good at delegating her time.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
So that's good. So
you came about you said you wanted to duplicate yourself, so you got an agent to take some of the real estate. Yeah,
so she was the first hire, and I originally, because I didn't know Aubrey existed, I didn't know Sarah existed, right? I have a VA. I hired an out-of-country VA, and I love him to pieces, but I needed to my personality is somebody that I just need to point you in the direction. Here's all your resources, figure it out. I am not the person who's going to train you well. I'm just not that temperament. I need somebody who is like Sarah, who can just take it and organize it and tell me what to do, because I just want to be on the phone, making phone calls and doing that kind of thing. So Aaron's got this funny look on his face.
Don't interpret my face. I'm loving this. I'm sitting here thinking this is the conversation. So we just have the person we found is Maddie, right? She is our
director of operations,
our ops, and she's brilliant. And Maddie and I were talking yesterday about the problem we have with offshore VAs, that you literally have to sit with them and train them. And it's just insanity to do it. I might as well do it myself. And then we need someone in video that speaks English, but doesn't just speak English, like can watch a video and get the point of what is in the video and how to edit it so that it's compelling. That kind of storytelling.
And so we don't have to send it back 4 times like we just did, right?
Can't be an offshore. Anyway.
That's a bit frustrating, I have to admit. So,
but they're brilliant at some things. They are brilliant at data entry and fixing my website, right?
Yes. And so we kind of put them on. I have a contract with that company until June, and we'll just have to, evaluate, May.
What's the company? What are you using for the outsourcing?
It's My Outdesk.
Okay. Fine.
And like I said, I really love the guy as a human being. Like I really do. And it's going to be heartbreaking if we don't keep him. So we're trying to find something for him to do. But I just heard, you're not being heartless when you're making those tough business decisions. No. You're just making them with less heart. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can't make. I don't
even know that that's decisions. True either, though. You just have. You have to be smart about it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Previous director of operations I had for 7 years, she was brilliant. Erin tells me the same thing, but she used to always say, Christine, anything is possible, but not when you're hiring. If they can't do the job, you got to let them go. Because I'm somebody who wants to hold on to people because I like them, even though I know way too much money.
And that'll kill your business, your bottom line. That's just not smart. So Elizabeth was hired as a new agent. And, I envisioned having kind of a customer service manager or, client care coordinator kind of thing where we did our buyers consultations together. You get 2 agents for one. Elizabeth, I go out there maybe the first 2 showings. Elizabeth takes it on. And, and I taught her side by side how to have the conversations and do that for a good August through this month. Awesome. And she was on salary. So we paid her a salary, and then I paid her 5% of whatever she touched. And it was a small salary, but, so she was out there running, to and from the attorney's office, because we're an attorney state, picking things up, going, making sure that all of our marketing, she did our marketing too, amazing at it, just gifted. And, and I started to just really look at my bottom line again. It's like, okay, now I've got all the staff. I need agents. We need to produce, so Elizabeth is going to start producing on her own in March. Yeah, she's great.
That's great.
And we will be hiring 2 more agents.
Good for you.
Yeah. And so, we're a pretty small team. I mean, my goal this year is 75 deals. So it's pretty low, but I think it's going to be a great year.
Awesome for you. That's extraordinary.
We're going with the right people.
And you're growing organically by what you need now versus just trying to put a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah, we started doing team meetings on Thursdays, and I'm loving them. I literally wake up and love Thursday because it's our team meeting, and we're working through the 5 dysfunctions of a team. Have you read that book?
No, it's a book.
Oh my gosh, it's a great book. Yeah, you got to read that book.
Christine, you've read it?
Yeah, years ago.
So, I love it. I read it years ago too, and then I just pulled it back up, and I'm like, you know what, we're going to do it. It's really about building trust and authenticity, and awareness, and it's great. So, communication and, just really getting that people have each other's backs, that we're not working against each other. I wish I had the book with me right now, but the very first sentence in the book, it's not about strategy. It's not about money. It's not about any of that. It's about, what makes a successful team is the team itself.
Yeah.
All about culture. Yeah.
Yeah, we always felt like if you got the right people, you'll find a seat for them on the bus. From Tom Collins, Good to Great, is get the right people and then build a seat for them.
It's so important. Exactly. Which is why, like I said, I'm a little over leveraged right now for myself, but I know it's not going to be that way probably by, May. We'll be
awesome.
Flip the thing over.
Great. Well, Jami, what other books? Because that's usually how we wrap it up. Yeah, I love 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. It's a new book for me. But any other books you recommend? Any other books you're reading now? Anything else you're loving?
Yeah, I'm reading this book called Quantum Success: The Astounding Science of Wealth and Happiness by Sandra Ann Taylor. And I've had my coaching clients read this book too. It makes you think,
Right.
And we all know that thinking is a good thing. So, I love that what we've created is coming from my calling. You are in Jeff's.
Yeah.
It's just such a different way to do real estate when you are coming from your calling. And my calling is people are connected to love.
Aww.
And, when I look at our commitments for the team and what we're all about, and we all pulled together words that described what a luxury experience at every price point is. Mm-hmm. We described what connecting hearts and homes means to us, each one of us, and it's present. It's present, and it makes me love my job. And this is a brutal market. So, you better love your job, right?
Yeah. A lot of work.
I think
how is the market out there?
Insane. Okay, you ready for this one? I'll tell you, Jami. By the way, before I tell you to say, Aaron, I think in the bottom of this podcast, we need to put a link to Jeff's course because we've referenced it a couple times.
Yeah.
Of course, and probably to the Landmark Forum because we've referenced that a couple times.
Great.
So we'll put links down there for all y'all. Jami, listen to this. You ready? I wrote an offer for my clients. The house was listed at $1,050,000. I wrote it escalating up to 1.360. No inspection. Big old additional deposit to cover the delta if the appraisal was low. Already underwritten, 0 contingencies except for the appraisal, and we'll cover $80,000. And there were 14 offers, and they were 9th in place. Can you even stand it? 9th.
I know.
Coming in at 30% over list. They were 9th.
Here's the crazy thing. We're still in a buyer's market.
What?
Where you are?
Oh, heck yeah. And when I say that, it's because the market is still going like this, right? So anything you buy this year, it's still got equity happening. We've got Google moving in. We've got Apple moving in. We've got Fuji Biotech, a whole bunch of biotech companies coming from all over the world and moving into the Raleigh area. And we are inventory deficient. Okay. We just don't have.
How do you call that a buyer's market?
Because this is still going to be the best buy you can make at the best interest rate that it's been in 70 years, right?
Sure. Are your buyers getting outbid over and over and over?
Sure. So when I'm saying a buyer's market, I want you to really hear what I'm saying. It's still a good time to buy a house.
Right.
100% agree.
It's still a really good time to buy a house.
Because fight to get in it because you're going to make money on it and get a rate lock-in that's going up in the next year.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think what's going to happen is, we're going to have another year like we had last year, and then we're going to start to see it level off a little bit. I mean, I have houses on the market for 0 days. They're incoming soon, and they're in multiple offer situations.
Yeah.
Right.
It's crazy. But I do think that, this year we're poised to add 1.7 million homes to the market across the country. So last year we added 1 million, and the prior 13 years before that, we were below 1 million. And it takes 1 million homes a year to keep up with our, just natural need for new homes. I can't think of what I was trying to say, but anyway, so, it's going to start to level out a little bit simply because we're adding inventory. So it'll be interesting to see if inventory is going to trump interest rates this year.
We shall see. It is really one of those things that we're going to see. I was watching some interesting graphs that overall the population in the United States is catching up to it's been on the downswing for the last 20 years, the population growth, and housing dropped way off after 2006, obviously, and it's been slowly inching back up, but we're still about 55% of where we were before the crash.
Yeah.
So we'll see, open up the supply chains and let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I know. I think it's going to be an amazing year. It is. It's tough for buyers. I'm not going to lie, but you know what? You just keep plugging, right? Prepare and plug.
All right, Jami, thank you so much for your time. As soon as we're done, I'm going to send you the links to the Level Up so that you can check it out for you, and anyone on your team. I'll send you the promo code. And I just love connecting with you again. And let me know if there's anything we can ever do for you. You got anyone coming out to Seattle, you know where to send them, and we'll talk to you soon. I hope to see you in the course.
You guys got some decent content to use.
It's awesome. Are you kidding? It's great. It's just a conversation with baller agents. I love it.
Awesome. I love it. All right, you guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Abundant Life Podcast, brought to you by Christine & Company and eXp Realty, the global online brokerage powered by top agents and cutting-edge technology. If you liked what you heard, consider subscribing wherever you listen to podcasts. Your hosts have been award-winning brokers Christine Andreasen and Aaron Hendon. For more on them, visit christineandcompany.com.